Hello and welcome to Dad Got This. And today we get a bigger boat, Woodfire grill, to right a previous wrong on this channel, to cook a prime rib without resorting to hackery. Let's do it. That's right, we are gonna cook this big old prime rib on our Woodfire Pro Connect XL without having to chop it up, pound it, hit it with a hammer, and do all kinds of crazy things like I had to do on my last roast prime rib video using the regular Woodfire. But we're gonna also do something really cool with it thanks to our sponsor of today's video, Smokin Pecan. These are some awesome new pellets that I'm using, and they are made from pecan shells. They're really, really cool and really innovative. Innovative? That word. They're that. They're made from pecan shells. There's no wood in these, meaning they don't have to cut down any trees. They don't have to do any deforestation. They're really sustainable. But other than that, they just burn really well. They smell awesome and they give you a really good flavor on your food. I have been cooking with them for a little while now. I've done a roast pork with them. I've done a calzone with them. I actually did our Thanksgiving ham with them. Every year I do the ham. I usually do like this glazed ham and everything, but this year I smoked it on the Woodfire grill and I smoked it using these. And I got some really rave reviews on the ham this year. People are like, wow, the ham's really, really good. It's usually good, but it's really good this year. And I think it's because I use these. Enough about that. You guys are gonna wanna see how they cook. So today we're gonna make an herb crusted prime rib, a little bit of a variation off my last recipe, made some improvements. We're also gonna make a little bit of homemade Ajus to go with it. And we're gonna make smoked mashed potatoes as a side. We're gonna make a variation of my Chef Mickey's Parmesan crusted mashed potatoes, and then we're gonna smoke those, all using the Smokin Pecan pellets. It's about a 7-pound prime rib. It's the biggest one they had at the store. I'm trying to get a little bit bigger one. Be aware, if you're looking for prime rib right now, it's kind of expensive. This is a 3-bone prime rib. I did have the butcher already go ahead and remove the bones and tied it for me. He didn't tie it very well. I'm gonna have to retie this. First thing we need to do is we need to season this all over with some salt. I have a coarse sea salt in here. This is a thick cut of meat. We can season it heavily. And see, this is the nice thing. With the bones cut off, I can season underneath it. And I'm just pressing the salt into it. And we're gonna do this ahead of time. A night ahead is actually better. If you do this 24 hours ahead and then leave it in your refrigerator overnight uncovered, it's called a dry brine. The salt will penetrate into the meat and it'll be much, much better. But, you know, if you don't have that kind of time, you can just do it an hour ahead while you're doing all your other prep. It'll be totally good. Make sure you get everywhere. The bone bit right here, flip her back over, put the bones back like they should be. Now we'll just set that aside while we do all our other prep and get everything ready. The last time I did this, I forgot to add the garlic to the garlic butter. What a mistake. Not doing that this time. All right, I have some rosemary here and some fresh garlic. We need to chop this up. I'm gonna use about 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? 8 big cloves of garlic. Nice fine mince on these. We're gonna add that to 2 sticks of salted butter that have been softened. This is fresh rosemary from my garden. If you don't have fresh rosemary, you can buy it in the grocery store. You can buy rosemary that's dried, but I suggest trying to get your hands on some. It makes a big difference in the dish. It's worth doing. Try to get the fresh one. We need 2 tablespoons of this finely minced. Now we're gonna add this back to our butter. And that is all the chopping and cutting we need to do. In here is a mix of herbs and spices that would make the Colonel jealous. Actually, it's not that special. It's just some granulated onion, some granulated garlic, some fresh cracked black pepper, and some MSG. Don't be scared of MSG. It's that white powder that makes stuff good. Yeah, Uncle Roger will let you know. Foo-ya! Yeah, that's a terrible foo-ya, but MSG is definitely good. It just adds a punch of flavor to your food. It's worth using. We're gonna add all of this into here. Don't worry, the entire recipe will be in the description below if you guys wanna follow along. It'll also probably end up on dadgotthis.com. And then we are just going to mix this in to a nice spreadable butter. Now you don't want this to like melt because we're going to spread it on the prime rib. We don't want to pour it on the prime rib. Now, depending on how hot it is or cold it is outside, you might want to stick this in the fridge to make sure it stays kind of chilled, so that way it doesn't melt by the time your smoker gets up to heat. Speaking of that, it's time to prep our smoker. So let me tell you a little bit about Smokin Pecan as a company. They are a family-run business, and they're in the pecan business. So they end up with a whole bunch of extra pecan shells. And I didn't know that pecan shells go into a lot of products. They go into like oils and rubbers and all kinds of stuff. But they were looking for something new and different to do with their pecan shells. And they're barbecue fans. So they figured, why don't we try to figure out how to make some pellets out of our pecan shells? Most pellets are made from hardwood sawdust, some kind of oil, like a leftover fry oil or something that helps them ignite, and about 30% of the wood that they're claiming to be. So if you're buying like a cherry wood or an oak pellet, you get about 30% of that wood, a bunch of sawdust, a little bit of oil, something to help ignite it, and that's what you're getting in your pellet. That's most pellets. Not all pellets, but that's what kind of most pellets are made of. These are 100% pecan shell. There is nothing in there other than pecan shell. It took them about 3 years to develop this and get it right. They even had problems like getting the packaging correct to get it to work right and keep them at the proper like storage way to make them work well. It took them a long time to get them to where they're at, to get them to work as well as they do. In the end, what they ended up with is a product that burns hotter, lasts longer, gives more smoke, and adds more flavor than your average pellet. And I can attest to that. Like I said, I have been cooking with these for a while. You can see this is an open bag. I've used quite a bit of them. And they really do. They add more flavor. They give off a lot of smoke. You'll see that when we use them. And they really have a great flavor to them. I do like them a lot. As far as cost goes, they're $15.95 for a 2-pound bag. You can save a little bit more if you subscribe and save. I'll put all this information down in the description below. You get them on their website, smokinpecan.com. All the orders on there are free shipping. Works out to about $8 a pound. Now, that's about the same price as buying the pellets from Ninja. However, these are way better than Ninja. I'll get into that a little bit more. There are other options out there. You guys know I have been using the Kona brand pellets on here quite a bit. Kona's pellets on Amazon are $36.95 for 8 pounds in a variety pack. That works out to about $4.61 a pound. So the Kona brand is a little bit cheaper. However, I've noticed that these burn longer and give a little bit better flavor than the Kona. Now, there is an option I noticed where you can actually get these a lot cheaper than both the Ninja and the Kona if you want to kind of like stock up. They offer a 20-pound box for $32.95, which works out to about $1.64 a pound. So you could just kind of stock up on this. It's basically the same as buying 2 of the 2-pound bags, and you will have enough pellets for a very long time. Store them in a cool, dry place, and you're going to be good to go for a very long time. And I don't think you're going to get sick of these pellets. They taste great. One other thing to consider when you're looking at the cost comparison on these pellets is they do last longer. I ran a test between the Ninja pellets, these pellets, and the Kona pellets, and here are the results. As you can see, these burned longer than all the other pellets, which gives you like more bang for your buck on the pellets. You're going to be able to get more cooks out of these than you would the other ones, which are going to make them a little bit more cost effective. So even though you're paying a little bit more upfront for the pellets, they're going to last a little longer. For this cook, we're going to use the regular grill grate on there. Now, for the star of the show, Smokin Pecan pellets. I'll give you guys a good look at these. They're pretty cool looking. They look different than all the other pellets I've ever used also. Super dark, super cool looking. Wait till you see the smoke these things put out. We're just going to load the hopper. Get your pellets in your hopper. Do the dad shake. That either compacts the pellets, gives the pellets air, or does absolutely nothing. No matter which one it is, I do it every time. Pop them in here. There we go. We're gonna turn our smoker on. We're gonna launch our Ninja Pro Connect app. We're gonna set it to the smoker setting. We're gonna do 225, and for now, we're just gonna set it to 5 hours because it doesn't matter. We're gonna actually put it onto the temperature probe setting once we get the meat in there. But for the preheat, we're just gonna set it to 5 hours. That'll be fine. And we're gonna hit save changes and start. It's asking if I have everything in there. I do. And there we go. We are preheating. Once it's up to temp, we can go ahead and throw the roast in. Speaking of the roast, let's go ahead and slather it in some herb butter. We are already smoking. Smells wonderful. The smell of these pellets is fantastic. Look at that. Look at that smoke already. We are just minutes in, and we have a beautiful smoke on there already. We'll remove our bones. As you can see, a lot of this salt has already absorbed into the prime rib, and I've only had this sitting for a very short amount of time. Don't worry as much about that section where the bones are going to go, even though I just put a whole bunch there. Get it on there good. We made a lot, so you've got plenty. Get some in there on that meat area. You can hit this area a little bit if you want. Doesn't really matter. Look at that smoke coming out of there. That is beautiful. That is just minutes into this, and there's just billowy, beautiful smoke. Cut a couple strings here. Not the tightest. I still need to learn how to tie a good butcher's knot, but we're gonna grab one of our probes, and we're gonna stick it right here, thickest part in the middle. First temp we're gonna set is 115 degrees Fahrenheit or 46 degrees Celsius. We are doing what's called a reverse sear roast. So we're gonna slow roast this so it gets as much smoke as it can, and then we're gonna set it aside, kick up the temp, and then we're gonna put a crust on it. Look at that smoke. Now here's the big moment of truth. The last roast I did was 6.86 pounds. This one's 7. I couldn't even close the lid on the regular Woodfire. This one, no problems. I consider that a win already. We have this set this way. We don't want it that way. We're gonna open up our app again. We're gonna change this to thermometer. We're gonna go ahead to go to manual temp, and we wanna go 115. We are set. It's gonna let me know when it hits 115 degrees Fahrenheit, 46 Celsius for you guys over there who use the different temps. I'll check up on this every once in a while, check the hopper as needed. Now, I could give you guys all kinds of times, like, you know, it needs 30 minutes per pound, but don't go by that. We have our fancy thermometer. Just let the Woodfire XL Pro Connect do its magic. It'll tell you when it needs to be done. I'll put up the time for how long it took to cook this one. There's all kinds of things that could affect how long it takes to cook your roast. Temperature, the roast muscle fibers, your temperature, humidity in the air, all kinds of stuff. Just let the machine do the work. We just got the notification our food is done. We blew past 115, we're at 118. We need to get this thing. The reason I picked 115 is really I wanted like 120, but you're never gonna get 120. If you pick 120, it's gonna shoot past that, you're not gonna get there. I pick a little bit lower temperature than I want, which gives me some room to catch it, grab it, and then hit around the temperature that I really wanted. Now, we're gonna wrap this up, let it rest while we get this up to heat at like 500 on broil, really hot, as hot as it'll go, so we can put a really good crust on this. I'm gonna go set this aside. We'll kick this up to the broil setting and 500. Been preheating for a little while. It should be nice and hot. Let's get this back in there. And now I got some juices for my Ajus. Nice. Now, I don't believe this is gonna take too long to come up to temp. So, according to our thermometer, we're already at 136, which is pretty much perfect medium rare. So we are very close to what we wanna be at. So we're just gonna move this sucker around, try to get a little bit of a crust on it, and it's basically done. We're gonna let this rest for at least a half hour. And while we're doing that, we're gonna go ahead and smoke our mashed potatoes here in the Ninja Woodfire XL. I made my favorite mashed potatoes, Chef Mickey's Parmesan mashed potatoes. I have a video on the channel for it and a link on Dad Got This for how to make them. You can make your favorite mashed potatoes, any mashed potatoes you want, and then we are gonna smoke them. That's how you make smoked mashed potatoes. Make mashed potatoes, put them in a smoker. It's really simple. We're using these, and I think they look pretty good. The only modification I made to my Chef Mickey's mashed potatoes was I added some rosemary to the butter and the cream when I made it, so it tastes a little bit similar to our prime rib with its rosemary crust. We're gonna do them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 176 Celsius, with some Smokin Pecan pellets. I don't know the exact timing. It's gonna be tough because these have a Parmesan cheese sprinkle on the top, and that has a tendency to brown and get very dark very quick, possibly. So you gotta watch them. I'm gonna check them every 5 to 10 minutes, watching for that browning. Once that browning starts to happen and I get a color I want, I will cover them with aluminum foil, let them sit in there for a little while, and that's it. They're already done and cooked and everything, just trying to get a little bit of that smoky flavor. It only took about 15 minutes for these things to get smoky and beautiful. Time to whip up a quick au jus. 2 cups of beef stock, our juices from our roast, about a tablespoon of wash your sister sauce, pinch, maybe a teaspoon of MSG, pinch of salt, pinch of pepper. Bring this up to a boil. I like to add about 2 tablespoons of butter. Once this comes to a boil, cut the heat down a little bit, reduce it to a simmer. Let it simmer for about 10 minutes to reduce a little bit, and then it's good to go. I think we've hit that point in the video where we gotta try some food. And the nice thing is, when you do it this way, you've got ribs that you can serve. Got your roast right here. Moment of truth, folks. Did we nail? Oh, we did. That is a lovely medium rare. When the air hits that, it's gonna perfume, and that is going to come out to a perfect, nice, light pink, medium rare. I got some of the jus right here. Bon appetit. Oh my, that is tender. You can taste the smoke, very smoky. It's like a sweet smoke flavor, not overpowering, just delicious smoky flavor. All my herbs are coming through. As the best prime rib I have ever had. Not only made, but had. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. Wow. Perfect crust on it. Right amount of salt. Just, oh my gosh. I can't speak enough on how perfectly cooked that is. The right amount of smoke. The right amount of herbs and flavoring on it. That is absolutely delicious. I want to take a piece of this crust. This is the crusty bit right on the end. Not even going to dip it in the jus, just the crust. Ooh. You get all that herby, rosemary stuff going on. You get lots of that smoke because it's right there on the edge. I'm an end piece guy. I love the end piece because that's where all the flavor is concentrated. Man, that's delicious. You see now how the air has hit it and it is perfumed and is showing its true, perfect, medium rare. All right, I got myself a spoon. I almost don't have words for that. Creamy, that crust on the top. It's got the cheese coming through it, but you get that smoky flavor from the top. Oh, the Chef Mickey's Parmesan mashed potatoes was already one of my favorite mashed potatoes ever. Adding the smoke to it with the Smokin Pecan pellets. Amazing. In wrap up, these pellets are really good. I wouldn't blow smoke at you guys. See what I did there? I've been cooking with them for a while. I will continue to cook with them. They cook really well. You saw how long they lasted, how much smoke they were putting out, and it's just, they're a really good product made by really good people. I've had conversations with the owners. They're really nice people. They put a lot of care and a lot of pride in their product, and it really comes through and it really shows. I only promote and take sponsorships from products that I believe in on this channel. I'm picky. I have turned down products that I don't believe either work well with my channel or that I didn't like. So if I'm promoting something on this channel, it's something that I believe in and that I've used and that I like. And I use and I like these pellets. I wish you could taste them, and to help somebody taste them, we're gonna send a bag to somebody. So leave a comment on this video what you cook for the holidays. What's your holiday tradition meal? And I'm gonna pick a winner, my favorite comment to send a 2-pound bag of these pellets to try out. And then I want you to report back to me what you thought of them. I'll pick that winner on, let's call it January 1st, my birthday. If you'd like to order some of these pellets and get some for yourself, please go down, check out the link below. All the information to order them will be down there. I suggest you give them a try. This is our holiday tradition meal. I love beef. I'm a big fan of beef. In fact, I'm such a fan of beef that at my old job, my password on my computer used to be beef stew until the IT manager told me that I couldn't use it anymore because it wasn't stroganoff. Yeah, Dad may tell really bad dad jokes, but there's one thing Dad doesn't do, and that's an outro. So that's it. Bye.